So call.
Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday morning. Welcome to Notes of the Week on Sick of This Shit Publications. I'm Nick Paro, not your dad, joined by my good friend Walter Rhein, our level 36 magic user, and my good friend Walter. How the hell are
Whew.
you today?
I'm doing all right. I was tired, but then I got all riled up this morning. I was talking to Eric. And nothing makes me feel better than talking to you and all the wonderful people. I'm discovering we're getting in sync. Like our minds are syncing up. I'm feeling this power, So
Yeah.
with everything that's going on, I am feeling hopeful, and it's all you wonderful people that make me feel that way, and I'm grateful.
Well, let me see what's going on. I'm wondering why our stream is not showing up on Substack.
It just
Kind of
takes a
weird.
second, I'm sure.
Hey, oh, there we are. We're on
All
Substack.
right.
Hey, what's up,
Yay.
everybody?
There's
Sorry I
everybody.
paused us there for a second to double check on things. But what's up, all? How's it going today? It's, like I said, it's Notes of the Week, and shit is going off. Happy belated Easter and beginning of spring.
Yes. You got that chat link?
Yes, I do. Let me send it to you here. Finally found it. It took a little while of refreshing to find it. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. It's good to have all of you with us this morning. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Sandra. Hey, Christina. Everybody who's in the chat that I haven't seen yet on your names. Enraged is a great way to describe the starting of the day. Like, I ain't mad that you're enraged. I think we all are enraged. Today's also the Taco Tuesday. And there's elections today.
Wisconsin, Georgia. We got a chance to flip Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat.
Fuck yeah, we do. Wisconsin's going to be great. You've had some incredible interviews with candidates out of Wisconsin. And I cannot wait to have further interviews with folks. And I know you've got a ton of interviews you're going to be putting out on Banner and Backbone.
You and I talked with Emily. Emily's talking on the Daily Whatever tomorrow. We're scheduled for that. So that's great.
Fantastic.
That's Derek Van Orden's district, so we can win that one. And then the Northern District, I think it's District 7. I've got Ginger Murray this afternoon at 2:00. And I think that's a district we can flip because the incumbent is running for governor. So, we can do a lot. I mean, if we do nothing more than contribute to getting 2 districts flipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could even do more than, I think we're going to do more than that too. So, hey, everyone, if you don't know, Lev Parnas has been talking about me recently in a good way. Is I'm working to contract and help support Lev's work and help him grow the Lev Remembers platform, but also help all of us grow our platforms, because Lev and I have become friends over the last few months, learning who each other are. I never thought I would say that about Lev Parnas. Like, I knew the name for the last 8 years, 9 years, and I was like, I never think I'm going to meet this dude. And then I've now met the dude. And he's also running for Congress in Florida's, I believe it's 27th district. I'll have to make sure I get... yeah, Julie, I did leave good off in the morning. It's a day. It's a day. But yeah, I'm working to support others now too, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah, he could use the tech expertise, and that's where I'm coming in. Is I'm coming in with tech expertise to help support and help grow his platform, because I don't know if y'all have noticed, is we've grown a really great platform here together as a community, and I want to extend that so that our community, one, gets recognition for the work that they're doing, and people in our community get the support they need, but also it gives us a wonderful avenue to actually put together policy and proposals and legislation and change the direction of America, and change it through you guys. Like, change it through us. We are the determining factor. And I want to build a team around me that supports me.
Gotta build a team. Say it like that. I gotta build a team.
I'm gonna build a team of experts. We're gonna fucking rock it.
Of writers and poets and artists.
Yeah, we're going to have an ecosystem of amazing tools, of
Yeah.
writers, of poets, of creatives, of people who are willing to dream about what the future should look like and what we should be getting to and how we get there. Not just coming with like weird, stupid ideas that nobody cares about that moderate to the middle and
Yeah.
everybody is
Reaction.
like, reactionary politics. No, we're going to push progressive politics. We're going to
Walk
push,
boldly in the
we're going to
direction of your
boldly,
dreams. Yeah.
yeah, because Lev has said it a bunch of times, and I've said it, and others have said it. And I've interviewed Joe Walsh. I've interviewed people who are considered conservative, people who are considered progressive. Joe and I even had a really good intelligent masculinity discussion where we disagree on some very fundamental topics. However, I asked him bluntly and straightforward, do you believe trans people are people? And his answer was unequivocally yes. And so we were able to have a conversation because human lives and dignity mattered to him. And that's an evolution for him. And it's country over party. I don't care about the parties. I don't care about the current party system. I don't care about the Democrats. I don't care about the Republicans. I don't care about libertarians. I don't care about any of that shit that we currently have that is ruining our lives. I want people who are going to listen to us. Whether they have different beliefs on some things than I do, fine. But we can shape beliefs and we can shape
Yeah.
narrative and shape culture and define something incredible with
Yeah.
our community and with the support tooling and the automations and the technical expertise, but also the creative expertise that is missing right now and the
Yep.
people expertise that folks like Walter have.
Yeah, well, it's called an academic disagreement. We need to bring those back, where it's like we can look at the problem from different angles, a diverse perspective, and say, hey, your idea doesn't. And that's something we're relearning because I remember a couple of years ago on the internet, you'd make a statement and instantly people would take it the way they wanted to take it and just assume that you were the enemy because it didn't align exactly. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that is division that's been put in place deliberately. And I've been saying our current media, they no longer interview experts. They give you
No,
these sanitized versions. They don't talk to people that really know about things. We don't learn from them. They're all, and it's like, that's why I'm telling everybody, get away from the legacy media. Even legacy media personalities that come to independent media, they still are working things with that perspective. And, they're looking for their open rates rather than spreading truth and things that people need to hear. That's why we're stuck with all these stories about the latest bonkers thing that Marjorie Taylor Greene said, or all these other
mm-hmm.
things, or the Kardashians. It's just like clickbait. That's all we ever get. So yeah, congratulate everybody for coming onto a platform where we're going to talk about real ideas and defer to the opinions of experts and not dismiss something just because it doesn't fit within the party line, like what our
Yeah,
overlords tell us we should think. And yeah, Nick and I disagree sometimes, and that's fine. It doesn't mean we hate each other. We're trying to work through the problem and find a solution that actually functions. He sees things I don't, I see things he doesn't. Together we are more powerful, and that's what we've forgotten. United we stand, right?
yeah, yeah. And one of the things is like we've been so lied to on so many different areas of American civics. Like it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the parties have lied to us to say that we can only like only vote for them. Independents don't get a say in primaries. Like we have closed primaries where
yeah,
you can't vote for both sides of the aisle or your top two candidates. Like
yeah,
California's doing it right. And I'll say this, if the Democrats don't get their act together, they're going to fucking lose a governorship of the bluest state in the union. And you need to fucking get your shit together, Democrats,
yeah,
because y'all are fucking stupid.
yeah,
If and if you lose California, you're fucked.
yeah,
Fucked.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. That's unbelievable. The
however,
ego, the ego.
however, the idea of ranked choice voting is a way to go. Is one of the best ways to go because it removes extremism and it puts popular choice in there. And a lot of people tend to be like, well, I really like this candidate, but they have no chance of winning. Well, popular choice gives them the chance to win. And it opens everything. And my plan is not to win over MAGA or win over moderates, to be totally honest. My plan is to activate apathetic voters and those who have been told that their vote doesn't matter. So they've given up. So they've
Yeah, yeah,
stopped
absolutely.
trying. So they don't even vote. Like, I want voters who haven't voted to vote because MAGA's going to vote how MAGA votes. I'm not trying to fucking change all their minds. You can't. Not yet, anyways. Not until their leader is gone. The cult won't break until their leader dies. Then we can start changing MAGA's mind. But there's so many fucking people who just up and didn't vote.
Yeah,
We need them. I don't give a shit about the 33% of MAGA voters.
yeah,
I want the 60, I want the 77% or
yeah,
whatever it is, 67% of voters. 67, yeah.
yeah,
67% of voters who are there to vote. Like, if 67% of the country who has either voted before or is a first time voter votes, MAGA can't fucking do that. You can't
yeah.
cheat your way out of that. Like, they can't cheat their way out if enough people come out to vote. So just saying.
Yeah. I think we need to have an emphasis too on re-educating people and just giving people the permission. We have to stop legitimizing just unserious positions. I always say, pro-life is violence against women. We have to say things like that. We need my children deserve to have bodily autonomy. That's the thing. And like we defer so much and we don't answer arguments. And that's why I get my article this morning was about, this absurd idea to appeal to moderate Republicans. And it's just like, they don't have a legitimate position and we have to stop legitimizing it by addressing it, and reacting to it. Like we just said,
Mm-hmm.
educate people, let people know this deferring that the center does, this deferring to where we just are not even in the fight a lot of the time. And that's why I keep being focused on these progressive candidates who are willing to talk about things in a different way. But my article today was kind of just like, yeah, the best way, if you want to appeal to moderate Republicans, start bashing Democratic leadership. Yeah, that Schumer sucks. He's done an awful job. And it's like, oh, then they're like, the Democrats are like, no, we don't want that. We want you to attack, socialism and things. But you can take their very arguments that they use and just dismantle them because they're so contradictory and nonsensical. And this is among establishment Democrats I'm talking about. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we just have to shift everything. Our perspective has to be much, much different. And, the moral high ground, like Robert Dana says, we shouldn't be shrinking away from pedophile protectors who are using taxpayer money to fund transgressions against children. We have the
Mm-hmm.
moral high ground. How dare they? How dare they stand there and act like we aren't doing enough or that we aren't patriotic enough or whatever? They should be the ones retreating, and we have to take the fight to them. And really, because they are already taking the fight to us and they're killing us. So we need
Mm-hmm.
that change of perspective.
Yeah, and that's why you don't see me a lot on Substack saying like Democrats start doing this. It's we do it. We do it.
Yeah, yeah,
The Democratic Party will shift left or whatever party, Working Families Party, whatever party it is, currently under the umbrella of the Democratic Party because that's the way our system is at the moment. We have to get in and then we can fix it. Is we need people to continue pushing for conservative or for progressive candidates to get in. And the interviews that Walter you're doing are allowing candidates to be seen, the ability to have access to like a national figure,
yes,
like Lev Parnas, who it wants to have other candidates on for interviews and discussions, is how we get national recognition and these folks
yeah,
um, in the mainstream profile. That's how we beat these folks because these radical left Democrats or radical left, I'm going to put this in air quotes
yeah,
again,
yeah.
radical left are mainstream moderates everywhere else
Yep,
in the
yep,
social world. Like,
yep.
I am a mainstream moderate on a lot of things. If you look at what a social democracy is, and we're nowhere near that. Like, we're a conservative, regressive democracy, if that at best right now. And yeah, we have blue MAGA like John Fetterman. We need to get them out. We also need to get the corporatists out like Jeffries and Schumer and others who aren't willing to do anything.
Yeah.
Aren't willing to do anything because this midterm election is essentially a presidential election. Whoever is the Speaker of the House after the midterm election, assuming they are on the Democratic side, and assuming we get enough seats in the Senate, which I think we will, because people are fucking pissed, and the more candidates that we continue to promote, the better, and more likely we will get that majority in the Senate that we need, is if we get the majority we need to actually impeach, convict, and remove both the president and vice president, because the entire administration is a corrupt pedophile protection ring. And they are stealing all of our money. JD Vance is owned by Peter Thiel, who owns the Pentagon now. And so JD Vance is getting a lot of money. Is when they are removed, whoever is the Speaker of the House is the acting president.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of ways.
President.
And there's a lot of ways
needs to happen.
Yes. And I was talking with this will hold, and they were talking about like the Election Restoration Act, because there's pretty strong evidence at this point that it was a stolen election. I mean, we can continue to do these investigations. We should be doing it. And more importantly, we should just be talking about it. Is this president illegitimate? These are reasonable questions. We should be asking these questions. The right has been asking these questions for as long as I can remember. They're still evaluating the 2020 election. They haven't found any evidence of fraud, but they have had the right to look. Our side also deserves the right to look for 2024. And the experts, as I said, all these legacy media groups, they are dismissive of the experts. They don't even want to platform the experts. These are people that they have studied in this field. They say there is real data here. So that's the difference. We are not like them because our suggestions are based on facts, are based on evidence. The right is just based on cheating. And yes, it could be that I feel that Kamala Harris is the legitimate president right now. So she would be the one who would take over that office. We can do it a number of different ways. There's not just one way. An Election Restoration Act. We hold everybody accountable for treason. We put her in. So you wouldn't even have to make her Speaker of the House. You could just restore the legitimate terms of the election. Going to take a lot of work. But these are things we need to talk about. And somebody mentioned Lev. That's why Lev is great, because he is giving people like us a platform. We would otherwise be deplatformed, so I do appreciate that.
Yeah, and if someone's willing to give us the platform and is offering to support us in that platform development, I'm not going to turn it down. Like
it's like a debate. It's like a debate. You would debate somebody.
Yes, I do understand people have their reservations on Levin, and they're legitimate. Like Lev and I have talked about them, and he's been very open about them too. I'm not saying that everyone needs to trust him. That's not, you need to trust him on your own terms. Like that's, if you trust him, you trust him. If you don't, continue listening to him. And if you continue not trusting him, you don't. That's your opinion. I can help shape and change it because I do believe Lev is doing the work right now and is putting in the efforts. I've seen it. I've seen the results for Ellie. I've seen the results for Kate Justice. I've seen results for us. Like, it's not a bad thing to have friends like that. And yeah, I understand people have their reservations. That's okay.
Well, and
he's done some really shitty things. He was part of doing some really shitty things. I totally understand that.
Totally hold him accountable too. It's not like somebody like all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm on the good side now. And then it's like everything they do from that point forward is fine. Call him out if he does something again that is wrong. And I think, and I try to model that. I mess something up and I'm talking here and it's like, okay, I'll try to do better. I'll listen. And that's all we can ask for with people, especially now. But I mean, people just don't understand how hard it is to break through because the oligarch media just controls everything. They also control all of our politicians, even people running for Congress who are legitimate candidates who have, already on the ballot. They cannot get any media attention. So we have to push hard and get whatever attention we can for them. Because the establishment Democrats do not want to give up the power. They're much more willing to suppress a popular grassroots candidate who is canvassing a district. I've been having all these candidates. They've been telling me they get phone calls from high-ranking Democrats who tell them to pull out of the primary, even though they are the most popular candidate within that primary. They tell them because they want to put in one of their corporate candidates. The same donors buy both They buy the primaries because that's cheaper than buying the general election, and then we get the illusion of a choice in the general. So we need to do whatever we can to push these progressive candidates, get some for the people candidates, on the ballot.
Yeah. And he doesn't. And two, if somebody's willing to not hide from their past, be very open and very honest, and sincere about it, awesome. I'm listening. I've listened. I'm hearing, and I'm willing to learn. And I think it's important too, is he wants to help platform other candidates. He is a huge national figure. He has a lot of name recognition. If we can help other candidates get name recognition in districts so that they can win, and it forces the Democrats to have to fucking back off, the national party to have to back off, good. Then we're winning. Then we're winning because those candidates will have the chance to be on the ballots. They will have the chance to put their voices out there. They'll have the chance to be heard. And that's all I can ask for and try and get done right now, is give others the opportunity to be platformed, to have their message put out, and then people vote on them. And not have the party do it for us.
And it will pressure the candidates or the representatives who are currently in office to do more. And we'll still vote them out. But I'm like, we need to pressure them. I mean, all we got is the fight right now. And people just retreat. Well, that'll not do anything. I get that all the time on so many of my notes. Well, that'll never work. That'll never. It's like, just do it. That's why they play the game. It's like, you play a game. You might be the underdog by 50 points. Go out and play anyway. Because maybe you're better than you think you are. Maybe these things happen. You don't want to surrender without a fight. And that's the only way that authoritarianism works. They trick us into surrendering without a fight. And of all the people I talk to, like 80% of all the minds I meet are already conditioned to just surrender. We've surrendered so much power. We've been taught to surrender since our earliest days in the United States. Surrender, obey, surrender, obey. To hell with it. Let's fight back for a change. And I don't care what happens. The first time you stand up to a bully, the bully might be bigger than you, but you say, you're not going to win without getting hurt.
Keep going.
And
Keep going, Walter. I'll be right back.
All right. We lost him, but he interrupted me, Sarah. I was on the fight. But let me read some of these things. Yeah, well, Lefty just mentioned Plattner. We're worried about that Totenkopf tattoo. I know that Nick has some comments about that. I guess, though, I based on what we've just been saying, I got to have a talk with him. And whether these talks turn into a promotion or a debate, that becomes a valid thing. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, these conversations, I try to do my conversations with candidates not as, oh, this is somebody that I've picked, but I want to give people a chance just to get to know them. And most of these progressive candidates, so we brought up Plattner, Nick, and I think
I have reservations about it.
But I think in line, I mean, if he wanted to talk to us, and we could push him hard on his, and then, like I was saying, I don't endorse people, but I let people get a sense of them. And most of the people, the integrity just shines out. And if they are not people of integrity, that shines out too. So Beth likes my glasses. Thank you, Beth. All right. Nick's back. I'll let you go again.
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out why my audio decided not to go back to my headphones.
All right, let me keep reading these things. And MJ says it's not just the tattoo, it's the post where he blamed rape. I'd have to look at that post. I mean, that's a valid thing. We could bring that post up. We could have him talk about it. We could have him see if he shows accountability. And if he doesn't do it to our satisfaction, we could explain what adequate accountability looks like from our perspective. And I think, because we just, like I said, sometimes you are debating your opposition. Sometimes you are having kind of a think tank and trying to go forward with the strategy. And I mean, there's some people that are diametrically opposed to what I think. And as long as, I haven't talked to too many people that really think differently, like extremely different than me, because I think it would probably get hostile. But often what you see too on all these posts on social media, the right wing comes out, the first thing they do, they start calling you, names. They start using inappropriate terms. They start swearing at you. They don't want to engage in an actual discussion, because they know if it's actually a true intellectual discussion, they're going to lose. So they use all those distractions. And unfortunately, our entire media mechanism has just kind of defaulted, where we're more afraid of provoking the right than we are just about saying, hey, the things you're talking about are based on just flat out lies and flat out untruths. We have a right to ask questions. We have a right to see the medical documents when a candidate claims he was shot in the ear. We don't have to take his word on it, especially if he's a convicted felon and a known liar and a fraud, and to legitimize people by just letting them off the hook. That's the problem. And that's what all of us have to change. All you wonderful people here. And I've been saying again and again, help me interview these candidates. Let's get more and more visibility for them.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I'm looking in the chats around a lot of what you're saying, Walter, and people agree. And what I can say, I'll go back a little bit. What I can say about Plattner is I've had some conversations with folks who actually know him and have known him for a time, and I'm still concerned about the tattoo. Like, having that there for that long is a really big red flag, especially if you're someone who knows the field and knows anti-fascist work and did that type of work.
Yeah.
And the explanation that was provided around why he had the tattoo isn't satisfactory to me, because it was a shifting of blame towards he was young and dumb and a woman wasn't there to tell them not to do it. And that really fucking pissed me off.
Yeah.
And he's part of that group. I was reading, someone tagged me in an article yesterday that I read through, really good article about like the issues of masculinity on both the Republican and Democratic side, or the progressive and regressive side of everything across the spectrum. Is a lot of men still are just terrible towards women, on our side too. They just see it slightly differently, so they're still willing to degrade women in a lot of ways and use them as scapegoats. And we have a lot of work to do, because only a small amount of us are on the track where we're actually shifting our terminology, using our words and our power to change that cultural approach to being harmful towards women about everything. There was an article about being a man in a group of other men and them believing that you're part of that group. And that group is pretty misogynistic and gross all across the board in all circles, and it's on us to push back against it and change that, so that candidates like, say, Plattner aren't even a concern. Because that type of discussion around like how it was a woman's fault and blame shifting wouldn't even be there, because that would, and yes, that is a purity test. I'm okay with some purity tests, because I don't want fucking Nazis. I don't want fucking misogynists. I don't want racists. I don't want bigots.
Child rapists.
That's okay. I don't want rapists. I don't want child predators. I don't want pedophiles or whatever hebephile or whatever they want to call themselves to make themselves feel better about it. I don't want that. That's a purity test, and that's fucking fine. I want people who believe people are people and that people deserve value because they're inherently valuable for living. I am pro-life because I think people should deserve the right to live, and that life deserves to have the basic necessities taken care of, because we are the wealthiest fucking country in the world, and we can do it. We choose not to. We choose to leave our citizens and our people behind. We choose to do that so we can do things like blow up schools in Iran, or threaten to blow up all of the bridges and civilian infrastructure in Iran, which is, by the way, a war crime. Bunch of war crimes right there. And the underlying threat that people should be talking about is, thanks, Elizabeth. It's, as Elizabeth Select LaRue Esquire says for us. Hopefully I said your name right, and I'm sorry if I butchered it.
You got it right. She's wonderful. She's my good friend.
Awesome. We have to have her on soon.
Yes, absolutely. If she's ready now, we can bring her on.
Yeah, Elizabeth, if you want to hop on today, I'll send you a link in a DM, and you can
We're
join
gonna
us
be here
for
a while too, so it can be in a little
yeah.
bit if you're
Yeah,
ready.
we've got about an hour and a half. So anytime you want to jump on, if you want to come and join us, happy to have you with us. I'd love to meet you. But what you said is it's not a purity test, it's a quality and qualification test. I think that's a better way to put it is we should stop using the words that they use. It's not a purity
Yeah,
test.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
qualifications. We should have basic standards
Nope.
and qualifications for our if it makes you feel better, Elizabeth, I didn't do my hair today
All
either.
right. She's talking to me on Thursday. I think it's this
Okay,
Thursday that I
awesome.
get to talk.
Yes, let's get you on the schedule because I would
Yeah, perfect for me.
love to
Nope.
have you here. And by the way, next week we have Andrea Watkins for is it Andrea or Andrea Watkins? Let me check. She has a large following on Substack, and she does a lot of
Wonderful.
incredible work, and I'm excited to meet with
Good.
her.
Good.
Next week is Andrew Watkins is coming on next week for the first hour of the show,
Perfect.
and that's going to be so fun. We're going to
I,
have so much fun.
I want to say
So
too.
Elizabeth, if you want to join us next week too, be
Yeah.
part of the group for that.
Oh,
If you haven't met Andrea, I've never met her. Let's have all of us meet her. Like this,
yeah.
hell yeah! Let's build this group.
I
Yeah,
want to say too. What
Yeah,
when you're
go ahead.
saying what you're going on, like the legacy media when they do those interviews like on the Totenkopf and they like accept his narrative, and the advantage you get on this is like I would spend the whole time on that point until we had a satisfactory answer. It's not like, oh, here's the interview, you come on, how did it
Mm-hmm.
happen, and then he says some story that's filled with contradictions. We're like, okay, it's like, well,
Mm-hmm.
let's stop for a second, let's walk through that. And that's why we don't see these anointed candidates. They are scared to talk to us. And this is how you handle people that are abusive people. You say, what's your story? And they tell it. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense. It's got this point, this point. I saw a video the other day where this guy was talking about how, well, Biden let all these immigrants in. And the guy's like, how did he do that? How did he do that? And of course, the guy couldn't answer. It's like, finally, he got him to the point of admitting, I guess I don't know. It's like, there, now we can start. You just admitted you don't know. You are building a structure on a foundation of ignorance. You just admitted it. That entire structure can be pushed to the side. And too often in our legacy media, we just allow the right to make these just erroneous assumptions, and then they just skip by it. They're very good at it. Once you get good at being a narrative person, you see, oh, right there's the lie. They have all these strategies for skipping it over. It's like magicians. It's sleight of hands. They say something that's absolutely nonsensical, and then they're like instantly under this other thing. And if you're like, wait a minute, they say, hey, I'm talking now. You had your time to talk. That's Scott Jennings with his resting white supremacy face. He sits there just like smiling and smirking, like, well, that's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
All these are strategies and tactics to deflect from that essential truth that they always keep hidden. And Nick and I, we wouldn't put up with it. I know, like a guy like Plattner, he wouldn't be able to get away with it. And if he could, through the course of a 2-hour interview, if he could earn your support, I mean, he would have that opportunity here. And if he would also expose himself as a fraud, that would happen too. And so that's why it's important for us to talk to people like that. Yeah, Jesse Waters, oh, that guy's awful. That guy's just awful.
Or like Michael Cohen, he's an abuser. The way he talks is abusive towards people. And that's what we're trying to break out. Like, it's okay to have qualifications for those on our side, where we view people as, are you qualified to do this or not? Do we trust you or not? And Michael Cohen's not trustworthy. He's shown that over and over again. That's the type of thing. Like, all we have to do is like what you're saying is get on an interview with them and just sit there and ask why, how, where, and when. Like, you just need the simple questions of who, what, when, where, why, and how. And when you don't get a satisfactory answer to a question because they're not willing to explain it like truthfully, you just sit there and go, why? How? Why?
Or go back.
Why
to
do you believe that?
Yeah.
Why is it this way? Why do you think that? You have to it's all you have to do. It's just ask why.
It's
and
like,
continue to ask why. And yeah, for those who are talking about YouTube, is we are on YouTube. We're on YouTube and Twitch right now. In fact, we cross platform, and yeah, we don't get a lot of traction there. It's pretty obvious that they don't want us to have a lot of traction there. That's okay. It's
yeah.
okay. We're continuing to build on YouTube. We're getting very close to the Sick of the Shit publications is very close to the first 500 subscribers,
Whew.
which help us get across that mark, because then we can open it up for subscription based,
Oh,
or we can get closer to opening up subscription based feeds and things like that. So maybe we do get more traction on YouTube. So find us on YouTube too,
yeah,
and follow us there. We're working on building all of this, because the more we get, the more platform it
yeah,
like openings we have, the more places that we stream towards, the better,
yep,
and the more our message gets out. And yeah, it takes a little while. We're playing against billions and trillions of dollars with hundreds and maybe thousands.
yeah.
Like,
Well, we also got integrity and truth. Those are our
yeah.
weapons, and they have lies. They have billions of dollars and even more lies. Truth is going to win. It just
Hmm.
takes time. Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
it
I,
does.
I was just thinking, like in the movie Blade Runner, I keep bringing this up. They do the thing called the Voight-Kampff test, where they're testing whether somebody
Hmm.
is a replicant. And it's sort of like what we're doing. There's a series of questions you can ask to determine if somebody is a white supremacist or MAGA. And it's people in the chat have been saying it. At some point, they start getting angry, and it's like nobody should be, you're asking reasonable questions about things. The point where they start getting enraged, and I'm pretty good at this. And I mean, all the people after all this time, we've been in this narcissistic relationship, this abusive relationship with this country, especially in the last 10 years, but all the course of our lives. Use the things you learned in your romantic relationships. If you've been in abusive relationships, as I have, I'm sure many people I have, the language that are all the strategies and tactics are the same. And they come to pieces if you push them, if you push back at them. You say, what you said just doesn't make sense. There's a contradiction there. And they get mad. They try to cover it up. And what we're seeing in our society today is they can't cover up all these fires. There's fires all over the place. There's too many for them to point out. The veil is opening up. We're starting to see the daylight on the other side. This lie that they've been subjecting us to, this trap, this cage, by which they don't even let us explore certain parts of our reality. Like we're not even allowed to talk about election integrity for some reason. That's not instantly the Democrats want to pivot, and the Democrats are bad at this too. They want to pivot and say, well, we have to get around the candidate. Our elections are secure. How dare you even suggest that a system as large as the entire the United States could be anything but completely secure? And we're supposed to just like submissively retreat and believe that narrative? We have every right to push back. And the more we just empower ourselves to ask these questions, it's a reasonable question, and just insist, because they're going to try to make us think that we're not being reasonable. And that's where the control is. So that's why we validate each other on platforms like this. We say, no, I did have a right. That's how you escaped your abusive relationship with a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend or your family. That's how we're going to escape this abusive relationship with our nation. It's by building that support community and empowering ourselves to have these honest conversations and to stop disregarding those lies that the abusers try to push over and make invisible. And then they become offended when we point them out. Those are what we have to fix.
Yeah. And for those in the audience who, while we're talking about this, is like building our own platforms or using our own um, tools that we're building, is we have I have a volunteer form that if anyone wants to volunteer, you can submit the form. Courtney is in the chat. She'll probably drop it for the Broadbanner volunteer form. But I'll also include it on the show notes, so everyone can easily find it. Is how to sign up to volunteer with Broadbanner, and build these toolings that we are working on. So just so everyone, because I've talked about it a little bit on Palin Talk, and I've talked, I think, a little bit about it here or in other places around, is I'm working on building a bunch of automation tools and things like that for supporting my work, but also supporting the community's work, and being able to get people to have the ability to more easily post and
Yeah.
distribute their content on multiple platforms and build up their viewership and ability to produce, because the more you put out, the more people see it, the better, the more.
Yeah.
And if we flood the zone with our content, we
Oh,
can win.
I'm telling you.
um
Yeah. My wife.
and
Oh, go ahead.
and so we're building that. Like, we're building bunches of that. We're about to have a huge update, that's less visible in the front end, but really amazingly powerful for the back end. So it's easier for us to develop and build on. Is we're about to have a huge update to the broadbander calendar, where we have moved away from some of the more basic tooling to a lot of really advanced setups, so that we can automate a lot of things. And we can, like, channel support for Substack and Restream. It's a pain in the ass sometimes
Yeah.
to make sure that
Oh,
your stream keys and you're set up right so that you can
yeah.
actually stream to Substack. Well, we can automate parts of that. So
Mm.
all I have to do is add a new, uh, the correct channel to the show, and it's already preloaded for me, so that folks like Walter can run notes of the week without having to worry about anything. It's already set up.
Yeah.
If I can't make it, he can still use it. Like, we're going to have all those tools are so freaking close
Yes.
to
That's
being
so
ready.
vital. Well, that's so vital because I honestly get stressed out about the tech stuff. I mean, it's like the best place I can be of service is just kind of running my mouth like this and having these kind of like fun talks and get people along. And it's like, this is fatiguing though. I mean, I love it. I love talking to all you guys. I love talking to brilliant people. I said to my daughter, I'm like, I'm tired from talking to brilliant people all day. And she goes, I can't relate, Dad. Everybody she was like, nobody I talk to is all that brilliant. She says at her high school, and it made me laugh. But yeah, it is a weight off my shoulders when people organize these things. And yeah, we just have to continue to go out and get people excited, get people exposure, get people visibility. And it makes such an impact. I was talking to my wife about it, and she occasionally listens. She doesn't listen to everything because she gets enough of me as it is, but she listens to some of these shows. And she was telling me how at work somebody was talking about the attack. This was back when we did the unconstitutional attack on Iran, and people were just kind of speculating about it. But all of the people she was talking to were within the context of legacy media, so they just have this narrative that they impose on you. And my wife, though, she's just like, well, I just think that this president is basically a toddler, and he was having a temper tantrum because they called back his tariffs, so he had to kill a bunch of kids to feel like a big man again. And like the whole room she was in, they went quiet. But it's because they're like, that actually explains it. And the reason everybody's always constantly frustrated and they're constantly battling is because we're fed this media narrative that does not fit the facts. And we know the facts. We're smart. We're adults. We can see what's happening. We can see how much gas costs. We can see our shelves are empty. We see these things. We know that the guy occupying the Oval Office is just an awful human being. He has no respect. He's probably never read a book in his life. He's mean. He's cruel. And then the media comes and they present these things as if there's reasonable things driving his actions. It leaves everybody feeling frustrated. And my wife, just from virtue that she happened to listen to that one article, it got into her mind. And then in a conversation, she shared it. And that changed how 6 other people that she was with started thinking about it. And that's a start. But we have to make that consistent. I mean, imagine a world where the entire media, was presenting accurate information, where we were respecting and elevating experts rather than sanitizing the things they had to say because they're inconvenient and they make people feel bad about themselves. Like, all we ever worry about is how oppressors and child rapists feel about themselves. Let's change the focus and start worrying about how the people they hurt feel. And let's try to make that feel better. And it's going to take a massive shift. I mean, so much of the media, all you guys here, you're such a huge help. But we also have to understand, because you're going to feel that pressure, that gaslighting pressure, because the oligarchs own the media, they own our politicians. It's really hard for us to figure out what the truth is, but we have the truth. I think the shining light of truth is something that curious people can't disregard. And so we are going to find it. They can't suppress this, but the effort they're making is absurd. And it's such a waste of resources. We don't have to live like this. We're not going to allow it to continue.
Yeah. We don't have to buy. Like, that's one of the reasons, Walter, you and I started this is
Yeah.
unfiltered progressive ideas without the hindering feeling of like listening to what right wingers have to say. Fuck their
Yeah,
feelings.
yeah,
They've been telling us to fuck our feelings forever. Like, fuck your feelings. Your
yeah,
feelings don't matter here anymore because you're just a bunch of assholes who want to hurt people. Like,
yeah,
fuck you. I don't care about your ideas. I don't care about being nice on those ideals. Like, I don't have to be nice to you about your ideas. If you're not going to be nice to me, why should I have to
yeah.
why
Model
should
that.
I have to accept that you get to be an asshole, but then I have to just take it and sit there and let you be an asshole, and then you get mad at me for calling you out for being an asshole? Well, I'm
Yes.
not going to do that. Like, and I'm going to admit when I'm wrong too and fix myself. I did it this weekend. Like,
Good.
I, I, my son had an incident. He had an emotional dysregulation moment that was not his fault. It did get blamed on him.
Oh,
And at the end of
sorry.
it, I was trying to very much keep him safe from getting more blame for something that he didn't cause. And afterwards, I went up to him, and when we got him finally away from the situation and calm and relaxed, and I went up to him and I just said, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for, and I didn't ask him to, and he started saying, but dad, and I was like, no, I'm sorry. Whatever,
yeah,
everything, the ways that I had spoken to you that made you feel like it was your fault, I'm sorry. I was wrong. And I apologized to him. I didn't ask him to do anything after that. I just said, I'm sorry. Didn't ask
yeah,
him to accept the apology. I left it with him and I just said, I'm sorry. And you know what? Afterwards, him and I, there's no issues because he
yeah,
knew I was there for him. He knew I was there to protect and help him and work on his behalf. And that's what he needed.
yeah,
And I didn't tolerate others adding to the feeling that it was his fault when it wasn't. And it caused an issue with another adult because I said, you don't get to have an adult temper tantrum at him when it's not his fault. And that wasn't taken very well. But
yeah,
you know what? It was what was needed to be said.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think it, in the end, was taken the way that it needed to be because it wasn't okay what had happened. And I didn't want to tolerate it
yeah.
because I needed to parent my son and others weren't allowing me to. And so I said, step the fuck back in a way that was appropriate for the situation to help my son. And then I
Mhm.
apologized to him.
That's so, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you on behalf of your son. And I just like, I'm so encouraged by that. And I was talking about this yesterday, how all my life growing up, I was mad. And I'm like, and I resolved when I have kids. This was when I was like 10. I resolved, I'm going to apologize when I'm wrong, you know? And even so, I was telling this yesterday. The very first time I knew it was my time to apologize, it was still hard to do that first time.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I pushed through because I recognized, and I had to just call back. I'm like, well, what's going to happen? Like the thing the parent forgets is that the child grows up to be stronger than the parent, and so you have to recognize, and you have to do it for a lot of reasons. But yeah, you've done something, you've done a great gift for your son in doing that. It was your son, right? You said,
Mm-hmm.
and you've taken away this obstacle of frustration in their mind. Like if you had done something that was unjust and made them handle it, you know, that's just going to sit there, and it's effort that they have to go confront against this obstacle. And when you take the responsible choice and you remove that and say, yes, this is the way it's going to be going forward, they have all this power for better things. And I've been watching my own kids now that they're, a sophomore, and they're free from so many of those frustrations and obstacles that are holding other kids back. I mean, all these kids, the emotion. I mean, every day when I drop my kids off at school, I'm just like, I love you. I hope you guys have a good day, and they leave happy, And you see other parents, it's like they just scream at their kids. Like the last thing they say is they scream at their kid. The kid is like, and you're left with that thing in your, it's like when you're having a fight with anybody important in your life, you're left with this thing, and you have to work around it the whole day. But that
Mm-hmm.
takes away your mental energy. And it
Yeah.
makes you less equipped to do well on a test or to absorb information. So if you send your kids to school with that injustice, having them to fight that battle of injustice on their own, it makes them get lower grades. And then they come home and they have bad grades and you get mad at them again. And so it just builds and builds. But I had a story too, like yours, Nick, where I done on a different occasion. My daughter had done something and I got mad. And it was only later I'm like, actually, that wasn't right. I actually took her out of school. And as I was driving to school, I was going, I'm going to take you out of school and we're going to have a dinner or a lunch and talk about this. And it just, my whole future flashed before my eyes. Like, and it's like, I realized she is under no obligation to forgive me when I make a mistake. Forgiveness is not our right. You can ask for it. You do not get to demand it is granted to you. And it just, I walked through it, on the drive. This drive to school is a mile drive and it felt like it took 100 years because I was entertaining this idea of what if she doesn't accept my apology? And it's like how hurtful that's going to be. And I'm just like, well, I'm resolved then. I have to make up for it. I have to restore, this thing that I broke. It's not enough for me to say, I'm sorry, then we move on and forget about it. I have to restore. And if it's the rest of my life committed to this task, that's what I'm going to do. And I picked her up from school and she's just like, what's this? And I'm like, I'm sorry for this. And she's like, oh, that's okay, Daddy. And it was like no big deal, but it still remains a big deal to me. And that moment remains big. And I try to hold myself to that standard all the time, but none of you on there never feel you're entitled to. I mean, if somebody says, I'm sorry, you say, okay, I'm glad you said that. You don't know them anything beyond that because it's up to them to restore you. And you aren't beholden to them because they said those words.
Yeah, the idea of instilling that you have to say I forgive you after somebody says I'm sorry is
abuse. Is
training abuse, is training abusive tendencies, and we have to break that. And I'm working on it too. Like,
we all are.
I need to. From one of the big things I recognized from this event is I need to do a better job stepping in earlier if I see something that is going to lead to, that I know is going to lead to a situation that will get out of hand.
Yeah.
And I could have and should have said something sooner when the situation was building. And I recognize where it started. I recognized how it escalated, and I see where it could have been presented before any of that.
Yeah.
And
that's good you're doing that. Don't be too hard on yourself, though.
No, I'm saying as a learning point is next time I can watch for those signals further ahead and prevent the situation from ever happening, because that's also a really good teaching moment for your kids. Even if you're not explicitly trying to teach them, they'll watch, they'll see it, they'll see you step in and go, oh, hey, this guy's like my son. They were building forts. I'll give an example. They were building forts, and my son did not want to do a fort competition. He didn't want to participate, but everybody else made it into a scenario where he felt bad for not wanting to participate. And I should have stepped in then before it got out of hand, because then his fort got destroyed and he got really pissed because he didn't want to participate, and his fort got destroyed by somebody else doing something, and then he got in trouble. And that's one of the reasons I apologized to him. I didn't even ask him to forgive me. I just said, I'm sorry for that this happening. And I'm sorry that I participated in making you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that I didn't stop it sooner. And that's all.
Yeah.
And it is hard. Well. It is hard to admit when you're wrong, and that's okay. You have to be willing to do it, though. Like, that's the big difference. It's like, if you're wrong, you have to be willing to admit it and live with those consequences. And I feel bad that I did it. I feel bad that it happened. I feel bad that my son's afternoon was ruined because of it. And he felt really bad afterwards, and it sat with him. And I need to continue building back from that so that he doesn't live with that type of feeling, and he's prepared for the next time a situation like that happens. And that's growing up for him, but it's also growing up for me. And I need to, and I'm okay with that, because parenting is one step at a time. We're all making this shit up as we go, and we have to make some of it up and do better and learn from our examples on what we did wrong. So and parental guilt is awful, MJ.
Elizabeth has a good comment where she just said a genuine apology. And I think a lot of what I was saying, because so many of these apologies you get aren't really genuine. Like somebody isn't genuinely sorry, and then they demand that forgiveness, even though they're not genuinely sorry. And that's such a good point to make, because a lot of times you kind of start talking about these, you're imagining scenarios in your mind. And but the assumption, there are a lot of just false apologies that go around. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Now everything's supposed to be forgotten. All the pain's supposed to be forgotten. All these things, and all these consequences of your actions, and you're free to just do them again. It's like, and what you're saying, Nick, too, it's so important where you change it from this whole, you're completely shifting it from the dynamic of who was right, who was wrong. Instead, you're saying, hey, let's make the focus. This is the situation. These were my feelings. Your feelings were legitimate. How do we handle it? How do I protect my feelings going forward? So it's just really kind of fascinating, like that huge expansion of what you are allowed to talk about with your son then. And because you just took that time and you weren't hung up on, well, I'm not going to say that. I'm the adult. I get to declare things, and the child. And that's the model that the whole United States follows right now. Oh, the authoritarian says we have to do this. How dare you say anything different? Obviously, he's a good person because he's the authoritarian, and we see that pressure, that message again and again. And that's part of what makes parenting so hard in the United States, because narcissistic, abusive parenting is presented as the whole structure of our country. You're subjected to these models all the time. And even if you're doing a good job as a parent, you're likely to get more pressure to be a bad parent than you are to get congratulated for doing the right thing.
Yeah, and we're getting a really good point out in the chat from our friends Joe and MJ, saying when someone says, I'm sorry that you feel this way, or I'm sorry if you feel that way, those aren't real apologies.
Yeah.
And that's why I hope I said it right when I was talking about this. I told my son, I'm sorry I made you feel that way.
Yeah.
Because I did it. I made him feel away, and I made him feel bad, and it was my fault. And when you apologize, yeah, you have to use the right words. Words mean things, and when you use them correctly, they mean incredible things. And they can be really, really powerful, either really damaging or really uplifting or generally neutral. But when you say, I made you feel this way, I did it. I was the one who was responsible for making you feel that way. It was not your fault. It was mine for putting you in that situation. And that's a really big game changer when you talk about apologizing, is I made this happen. I did this, and I know it hurt you. I am sorry for doing this thing. I'm sorry that I hurt you. Not I'm sorry that I made you feel that way or that you felt that way. I'm sorry it made you feel that way. I'm sorry I made you feel that way. I'm sorry I did this and it hurt you. Even sometimes it's better to be slightly general when you talk about the issue. Be a little general and use those words of, I did this.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I know it hurt you and I'm sorry. And then don't follow up with, can you forgive me? Will you forgive me? Don't even ask. Just say, I'm sorry. And leave it at that. They will give you forgiveness or not, and that's okay. Yeah, I statements are so fucking powerful.
Well, and just go straight to the, how do we restore this? I mean, it doesn't even have to be forgiveness. It's like, you know what? We shouldn't even talk about forgiveness until we've restored the person we've transgressed against, right? It's like, okay, let's get the effort. Let's get this fixed, and it's like, I'm sorry this happened. Let's get this fixed. Let's talk about your feelings. And so much of our society is, I mean, this is really hard work, what we're talking about, because we are conditioned from an early age to accept this authoritarian model. We don't question authority. So as a parent, like the number one thing, it's so vital to just be willing to admit you make mistakes. I did this as a teacher too. I would always tell my students, like, I don't know everything. I'm going to learn more from you than you learn from me. We are all collectively together to try to grow and be better. And I would get pressure from other teachers for doing that, because they want that authority. They want, we don't want the kids talking back to us. It's like, I don't have any behavioral issues at all. You treat them with respect and it's fine. And so much of our society is convinced That's why we spend all this money on the military, and why we spend all this money on the police force, and we spend all this money on ICE, because Americans think the only way to solve any problem is to hit somebody in the head with a club. And that's the worst way. It doesn't do a damn bit of good. It makes greater problems, so you have to spend more on the military and more on the police. And if we could just switch to that kind of, and you know, you want to call it's just a love model, you know, and
it's the scarcity complex. It's a scarcity complex. Everything has to be a competition. Like everything has to be a competition in most men's eyes specifically. And that's a cultural thing. That's a problem. That's what we need to fix is not everything in life is a competition. In fact, most things in life are not competitions. They're collaborations.
Yes.
And that's where we differ is I want to collaborate with people. I want to discuss. I don't want to compete or debate. It's why Joe Walsh and I get along. It's because I don't try and debate him. We discuss topics from smart angles and ideas, and we find where we have either common ground or separate ground, and then we further discuss that idea. And we figure out how to make either a consensus or the fact that we might not agree on something. But it's collaborate and discuss, not debate and compete or compete and debate. Like I'm tired of competing for everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a competition. It's like I'm not here to compete with Walter. I want him to get that solid orange 1,000 paid subscriber check mark plus paid subscriber.
That'd be nice.
I want him to do that because then he gets an amazing benefit and our discussions get larger. Like it reaps rewards for me too. Helping other people do better makes you better. A rising tide lifts all ships. So let's fucking rise this tide together. Like if Walter gets to 1,000 paid subscribers, you know what that means? I'm probably nearing that myself too, because people would then trust me because I'm doing the right things. And that's what I want. I want people to trust what we're doing, know that they're getting the right values and that they can believe who we are and what we're saying and value the things that are available, value each other, value the community building, do the thing where my sweatshirt says, now you know, so you can grow. It's one of our phrases here. It's actually on our shop.sickofthishitpublications.com. If you want to go to the link, there's a QR code also on the screen.
Do it
above my head right there. QR code on QR code on the screen. Please go come support us at the shop. Come buy some of the stuff. We have our notes of the week sections. We also have our Just Suck Less water bottle, which is our 32-ounce metal sippy straw water bottle to remind people to just suck less, not so subtly, because some people need it. And that's really part of it is stop competing. Fuck.
I want to
stop
say one
competing
thing
over everything.
Mason made a great comment, super important. It said, I skipped over where empathy exists between two people. Just be sorry to each other today. And what this means is sometimes you just have to let people process their grief. That's so important too. I had an issue like this. I wrote an article about this. It was another case with my daughter where we were out on the paddleboard and I accidentally flipped it over and she was really mad at me. And I'm just like, I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident, but it was just like, she wasn't, I had to just sit with her for a while and she could be mad, you know? And it's just like, you can't pressure somebody to not be mad. It's like, okay, I am sorry this happened. We'll just be quiet. And it's sort of like, and because you're as an adult, you're like, well, I organized this. I got all this stuff together. I got this. We're supposed to be fun and your attitude. And it's like, look, you have a right to just sit there and process your feelings for a minute. I'm going to respect that. And then, so that even comes before working for restoration. Sometimes you just have to give people a moment to be mad at you and not pressure them in that moment and just listen to their anger at you and respect that. And that's, I think that's a really brilliant thing that I'm really happy that Mason is fed up shared, because that's such an important point. The article I wrote on that, I should share you some of the comments. People were coming at me left and right about how wrong I was. And it really made me sad, the extent to which emotional intelligence is just at the toddler level in the United States, because this was not a hard concept to understand.
No, yeah, and that's it. It's emotional intelligence is just super underdeveloped in our nation on purpose. And in a lot of places, it's not just the US. It's a global problem that we have of men being shitty and assholes and fucking over other
Well, they are
people.
better in other countries, though. Having lived in other countries, the men in the
Yeah.
United States are uniquely bad, and
Yeah.
it needs to be fixed. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And one of the things we export most to other places is hate. Like, we are mass exporters of it. We do it really well here. We just call it free speech
It's
and then don't
American
regulate it.
culture. White
yeah,
supremacy is American culture, and we have to change it because it's reprehensible. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. And it's finally okay to just like to do that. Like,
Yeah. Because we've
the
seen what it
Confederacy,
causes.
we should have stopped it at the Confederacy, but we
Yeah.
allowed them to reintegrate into society in a way that
Yeah.
was unacceptable. We allowed their politicians back in. We allowed
Yeah.
them
Didn't want to hurt
to-
their feelings
we
by
didn't want to
telling the
hurt their
truth.
we coddled right-wing feelings
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
We coddled anti-humanist feelings. We coddled people who were fucking awful, who wanted to own others so that they didn't have to work. Sounds a lot like the technocrats right now who want to
Yeah.
own us so that they don't have to work and we do. Looks like what the billionaire pedo class is doing right now. We live in a slave system still. We just don't want to call it that. We can call it that. We never stopped living in a slave system. We shifted it to the 13th Amendment so that we turned slaves into felons, and
Yeah.
felons are now slaves, and we get around with it because we pay them like a penny a day or some bullshit wage or some dollar a day bullshit wage,
Yep.
and we call it okay. And then
the
we
wealth
criminalize everything and we turn people into slaves, and then they don't have the
wealth
right to
classes.
vote. They don't have the right to their civics. They don't own anything. They're owned by other people. We just shifted it. It's time we fucking fix and end slave systems in the US.
And wealth is the plantation class. I mean, they're the
Wealth-
ones that are above all the laws, and we just have to stop having reverence. And I was talking with that Annalisa Brunner. Her comment was so brilliant. We've all been coerced into making this trade on the, and what we've taken from the trade is this hope that one day we'll be billionaires. You're never getting it. We've turned over every good thing in our life and we've gotten shit back. We've got absolutely nothing back. And why would we do that? Why do we place all this hope on this idea that one day in the future we'll get some reward? Look at what's happening in the government. Everybody who's loyal to the orange skid mark, when he grows tired of them, when he needs somebody else to sacrifice, that's the first person to go. There's nothing you're ever going to get by being loyal to that system. So we have to, in our own minds, start to deconstruct all this indoctrination where we think wealth is okay. Wealth is literally not okay. It is unacceptable. And all the people people come at you with the exceptions. Well, there's so-and-so and there's so-and-so. It's like, you know what else there is? There's still starvation. There's still child rape. So those 2 or 3 people that you claiming are good, they haven't fixed the problems, have they? And if we get rid of these wealth class and allowing people to be there, we will get rid of those major problems. So stop asking for exceptions for the people that think that they are doing a good job, because the problems are still there. We'll start handing out awards when all the problems are gone. Before then, let's just get to work and make sure everybody's got their needs met.
Yeah, I'm not giving participation trophies out to fucking regressives who don't try. Yeah, no more participation trophies. You have to actually fucking do it. Like, it's
so what you're saying.
And yes, these are the new Jim Crow laws. Like, we need to stop. One, yes, MAGA is very Nazi. 2, they're the Confederacy. They're the new Confederacy that's older. That's more. There's a lot of hate built into the Confederacy.
Stewing in
we
their
need to
juices
acknowledge that we are fighting the second coming of the Confederacy. We're not fighting the Nazi regime. They like the Nazis. They believe in Nazi policies, but the Nazis were influenced by the Confederacy. The Confederacy is the fucking problem. We need to get rid of the Confederacy in the US as a thing that people latch onto as a positive. We have allowed a Confederacy that was a union of traitors who broke away from the nation to own other people. They want to do it again. They want to complete the mission. When Donald Trump's first insurrection happened on January 6th after he lost the election, they raised a Confederate flag over the nation's capital. They've been wanting to do that since the Civil War.
Yeah.
This is a new Confederacy. These are Jim Crow laws. They want to go back to owning people. They already do it. That's what the credit system is for,
Yeah.
is to own you.
Well, the
Because if you
detention
default on your
camp, the
credit, you go to
concentration camp.
jail.
They got people in
Healthcare. That's why
concentration
it's
camps.
tied. Yeah, that's why it's tied to your job. That's why dental insurance and vision insurance are all separate insurances, because they're tied to your job, so that you are slaves to a job, to a system that requires you to give up everything so that
Yeah.
the few can prosper.
And thank them for it too.
And
You're
thank them
expected to
and
do
lick their boots while we're doing it. We get to eat their shit and drink their piss and call it rain and chocolate.
it. Yeah.
And I'm not buying that. I don't buy that garbage. It's lies. It's lies, and it's Confederacy. And we need to get away from the Nazi part of it
Yeah.
in some places, because yes, they are Christo-fascists. Yes, they are Nazis. They are neo-Nazis.
Yep.
They're neo-Confederates more
Yep.
so than anything.
Renee
And the
just
robber
mentioned.
barons, we don't have oligarchs in the US. We have robber barons. Let's start
Yes.
using the fucking word that people
That's
should
true.
know in America, because that actually holds weight in this country.
Yeah.
Stop referring to them to things that they want to mainstream. They don't want to mainstream the idea that this is the second coming of the Confederacy, to have slave owners again. Because if that became the mainstream
Yeah.
viewpoint of what the right is doing, people would be mad.
Yeah. We got to make them mad. Renee
That's
said
what
too.
that's what it is they want to own slaves. They're
Yeah.
the second Confederacy that is building a new system of government on top of the Constitution, which is illegal, which is a constitutional violation, and is an impeachable offense for all of them involved, not just Donald Trump and JD Vance, but all of them. These are treasonous acts, and they should be treated as such. And we should not do a reconciliation until after the leaders of the new Confederacy are charged with treason and suffer the consequences of their actions.
Yep.
There is a consequence for treason.
Renee said, and it was mentioning the Dukes of Hazzard. I did an article about that. I mean, that's the indoctrination we're subjected to in the United States. And you don't think this show is an accident. The car called the General Lee with the Confederate flag on the roof that plays Dixie. I mean, that's as clear indoctrination for little kids to make them accept. And this is where the left has been problematic, because we don't fight back hard against things like that. We're just like, oh, let them have their show. And it's like that indoctrination of little kids. And then you see the right. The right always accuses us of indoctrinating kids with it, which is a lie. The left has to push back and stop how the right is indoctrinating our kids. But I've talked to a lot of people about that. It's really it's a sick show when you sit and you look about it in the context of an adult, and that they subject little kids to that. And that's hardly the only example of that. You just have to develop an awareness of the extent to which we are constantly subjected. I mean, the hate algorithms on social media are designed to create this too. All of our kids have this mental health issue because the algorithms grab misinformation, they grab hate, they subject our kids to like body negativity. They feel bad about themselves. We all know this is a problem, and yet nobody's seriously talking about changing our algorithms. I mean, the most you can do is teachers saying, hey, let's not have phones in the classroom. It's like, yeah, but I mean, you still have poison in the hand of the kids. Let's take the poison out of the hands of our kids. And it's funny, the reluctance you get. Why shouldn't we have government regulations so that our kids aren't subjected to these hate algorithms that completely make our nation toxic? And this is yet another one of those conversations that is not in the mainstream. It's up to people like Nick and me to get people talking about this. I brought this up with a couple congressional candidates already. I got them thinking about it. I brought up Jen Budd's idea of the DNA database for law enforcement and politicians and teachers and preachers. They should all have their DNA tested to make sure they're not rapists. What's wrong with it? The United States is a child rapist problem. We're not allowed to talk about this. That's another thing. You walk into a new church and you say, hey, what has your church done to stop child rape? And the preacher gets mad at you when that's a completely reasonable question. And then we are indoctrinated to feel shame for asking that and demanding those protections for our kids. That's how far we have to go friends. We have to empower ourselves to ask those questions. Spaces like this are the beginning, and you'll start to see. Nick and I, even over the last year, we've extended, we've fortified ourselves. We've like, you know what? We've consolidated our beliefs. We said, yes, we do have the right to ask these questions and make these demands for the protections of our kids. There's nothing wrong with that. And you don't find many of those spaces. And all of you in the chat, I mean, I love you guys. You've been helping us lift that up and get stronger and stronger and stronger. The things we're talking about now are more powerful than they were a year ago or 2 years ago. So I thank you. And we're just getting started. So again,
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. And expanding on the background check thing is every politician, every federal officer should have to undergo a DNA check to ensure that they are not in a rape kit somewhere around the US, or charged of rape, or charged of sexual assault, or charged of child molestation or trafficking, or any of these things that are dangerous.
Yeah.
There are different levels of crimes, and one of the reasons I don't talk, like, I don't think prior felons should be removed from their right to vote after they have served their term. I think after you have served all of your term, including your rehabilitation period, you should gain your right to vote back, because that's what the system was intended for. It was intended to allow you to regain your full rights as a citizen.
Yeah.
Once
They
you've
let the
served your
president
time,
vote.
do the crime, serve the time, and you're done. Like, that's what I was taught, is you do a crime, you serve the time, and then you're done. And then it's not forgiven or forgotten. It's still there. It's on your record, but it should be easily visible for others. Like, the US should, we have the fucking surveillance system in place already to do it. Like, we have the systems already there, the DNA tests already there. And it's not a bad thing to require your politicians to be qualified to do their jobs without a history of rape, sexual assault, abuse, hurting other people. And that should include an international search, because if you're an international criminal, like, you are on the criminal watch list to be arrested in Europe, let's say Interpol has you on their arrest list, you shouldn't be a fucking politician. More than likely, unless you're on that arrest list for some stupid ass corrupt reason. But we should be able to evaluate and know that.
Yes. We have a right to know.
We have a right to know all of the information, because that's what our right as citizen is. We are the highest ranking officials in the US. Citizen is the highest ranking office in the US, not president. President is the lowest ranking. They're barely supposed to have any power other than to command the military and sign off on laws. We've given them all of this power, and whoever becomes the next president needs to be willing to say at the end of the term or during this term, we're giving all of the power that has been wrongfully given to the president. We're removing it.
Well, he stole it. I think it's illegitimate, the president.
Yes, but not even Trump's power, but all the power that has been given to the office of the president that is constitutionally not there needs to go away, and Congress needs to have their power back. And one of the things I want to talk with folks like Lev about, and when I ask and interview folks who are going to be like Kira and those on the citizens impeachment side, is I want to ask them, are they willing to expand the size of the House of Representatives? Are they willing to give citizens representative democracy back? Are they willing to expand the House of Representatives? Because that's just a law that needs changing. And if there's a veto-proof majority on that law that says Congress needs to expand to actually fit a representative style democracy, where actually, gerrymandering is much harder to do, then good. That's what we need. Because if we can have 750 representatives instead of 435 or whatever bullshit number that we've had since 1925, the Proportionment Act, is we've been reproportioning the same number of representatives in our nation. If we stuck with the constitutional rule of
Yeah.
representatives of one representative for every 30,000 citizens, California would have like 1,200 representatives.
Yep. Yeah.
That's an obnoxious number. Like that's too many.
When was that
The U
Proportion Act again?
1929, I believe it's just the Proportionment Act of
So that's when the
1929.
KKK had like massive power in Congress. The
That's
KKK was infiltrated.
when they limited the size of our government and took away representative democracy and turned it into an oligarchic democracy
Yeah.
because they pegged a number without any chance of it going up based on population changes. So people say, yeah, the representatives change when the new census happens. Yeah, we just reproportion the existing number we have. We don't ever add new representatives. So when more people move to California and less people say move to Montana, more people in Montana or the people in Montana have more voting power than Californians
Yeah.
do.
Each
And
person.
that's not okay. That number can be more easily reduced to a much closer number. We can't perfectly get rid of it unless we do the 30,000 or exact number per. And then we would have just a stupid number of representatives and nothing would ever get done. But there is a number that works for our size of society, which is about 750 right now. There's an actual formula that can be used to peg like how much of the population do you need to have this proportional representation. Here's the number. It would eliminate gerrymandering because guess what? Gerrymandering can't happen if you have, say,
Yeah.
100 districts in Texas, let's say, instead of 40 whatever, 50 whatever they have, however many they have. If they doubled that number,
Yeah.
you can't gerrymander that.
Yeah.
At some point, it becomes impossible to gerrymander when there's enough representation, and that balances the system. And then they can take their power back because we need a Congress who'd be willing to take their power back so that we can actually do shit again in this nation.
Yeah. Well, we need to keep presenting those progressives too. The more of you out there who can help me interview these progressives, give them oxygen, we can get a lot of them put in place and they will work for us. We don't have to submit to corrupt jerks, corrupt millionaire jerks who don't care anything about us as our representatives. We don't have to do that.
No, we don't. We can stop listening to that shit. Like, it's unnecessary. We don't need it. And yeah, Florida would get more districts. Every state would get more districts because the population has risen in our nation drastically since 1929, including in the small states. Like states like Vermont might even have a third representative. That would be awesome. Like these states deserve the representation.
Yeah.
That's how we get more people into office, and that's how we change laws, is we force more seats to be available so that people can run. And then we make the entry bar to getting into running really, really easy, other than you have to pass this certain criteria of you can't be a sexual offender or a pedophile. You don't get to we can limit who gets to run.
We have age limitations for president.
And yes, I understand our Constitution says elections are run by the states and the feds will not inhibit the state's ability to run an election. Okay, then we get the states to fix them. And how do you do that? Is you keep running candidates in every district of every state, specifically red states, and you start flooding money into red states so that we can break super majorities, because then we can change laws here. Like Missouri, who has almost every seat in Missouri, is now running a Democrat. Almost every seat in Missouri.
Texas too, they got that. Lisa Hamlin, she's been organizing that. Good for her.
Yet the National Democrats won't give these states money
unless
it's Texas or Florida. But the whole South could be winnable if they just put a little bit of money and effort in. And guess what? We're going to do it for them instead, so that we can actually get candidates who don't suck. And so you guys are putting in the money and effort to do it. And the Democratic Party is lagging behind. So if we need to, we'll leave them behind.
We'll get them voted out.
Make a new party. It's okay too. There are other parties out there. The Working Families Party is out there. The Democratic Socialist Party is out there. There are other parties. We can make rules and fix the system. We can have a constitutional convention. We can talk about having one too. And every time I say it, people are like, oh no, that's the worst idea ever. Then they'll be able to change everything too. And I'm like, not if we control all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. People
Guess what? If
assuming
we
a
vote all
negative outcome. They
in,
assume a negative outcome,
yeah,
so we can't do anything. It's like we can also have a positive outcome. Quit,
yeah.
shake off that conditioning to think we can't do anything. That's
Yeah,
the
the
abuse conditioning
Constitution
again.
was amended almost like every 20 years almost since the inception of the nation until the early, what, like 40s and 50s? Like,
What
I
was
don't
it?
remember when the last constitutional amendment
Oh,
that was established was like
it's been a
50
while.
fucking
Yeah.
years ago or more now. Before that, we were doing a constitutional amendment every 10, 15, 20 years. We've been told again. We've been
Yeah.
lied to by billionaires who say that they will be the ones who get to make all the choices. Well, no, if we hold the offices, we get to make the
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
We get to send the folks to the Constitutional Convention ourselves. We get to do these things. They don't. They can try, but if we're the ones who are making the choices, we get to be the ones who change the Constitution.
Yep. Yep.
And if we send people to Congress who are on our side, who are willing to listen to our needs, who are of the people, for the people, and by the people, guess what? That constitutional convention will change the trajectory of the US drastically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we can do that. Stop buying into the lie that we can't fucking talk about constitutional amendments. The Constitution isn't set in stone. It's a
Yeah.
living document, and we're allowed to change the damn thing when it's outdated.
Yep. And that lie is promoted by the corrupt media, and the politicians repeat it. It's this structure control is big, but we have to find the truth in the negative space from where it's been taken from us, and it's like that's what we're working on here. And all you guys in the chat, you're such a big part. The validation we get as we continue to make progress. But yeah, we do. All we have to do is determine we have the power and go forward.
Yeah. And at the end of this, like people are saying in the chat is, I can't believe they didn't codify the ERA under Biden. I can. I
Yeah.
can. Because they got into power and they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They
We
could have
gave them.
ended Trump's ascension to fascism.
Yep.
They could have
That's
ended the
my
whole
note.
thing. The
Segue to the
Republicans
note.
were ready to do it too. There were enough Republicans at that moment who were ready to do it, but they didn't. They gave up. They let it happen. They let it fester. They let this moment happen. They failed us. The establishment Democrats failed us. Yes, Biden did a lot of good. He was one of the most progressive presidents we have ever had because we put a lot, he surrounded himself with young folks and folks who were diverse, who had differing backgrounds and who were willing to push back, who were progressive, who were forcing him to our needs. But we let Jeffries and Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and others who've been there since the Stone Age to stay there. We haven't gotten rid of the Stone Age Democrats, the ones who were still around when their parents or grandparents owned slaves. We have slave owning families in our Congress still. Mitch McConnell's family owned slaves. We allowed him to stay. We never censured him for having those types of views. The Democrats failed us.
Yeah.
So we get to make a new party out of them. We get to destroy it. And Biden, I love Biden for a lot of the things he did, but he set us up for failure because he told us he was going to be a one-term transitional president, and then he ran again. And he lied to us in that moment, and that broke our trust. And that's where I no longer care about what the Democratic Party leadership has to say. I choose the candidates I support because they have values, not because the Democrats endorse them, but because they have values and they matter and they listen to us. And that's where we're going to keep going, is people who listen to us. And we can win. It's not a we should, it's we will. We will win because we're going to put the candidates out there that you all want to hear about. We're going to put the candidates out there and we're going to help support getting messages out there for places that are running, for people who are trying to be progressive and move the country forward. Because if we have 150 progressive House of Representatives members, guess what? That's that's enough to run the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Like, we can run the Democratic Party just through this election. We can take it all back in a massive wave because it's no longer party.
Yeah.
It's it's nation, country over party. And we're just running under the Democratic flag because why would I run under the flag
Yeah.
of
What else
a
is there?
regressive rapist?
Yeah. But those primaries give us a lot of power. We can put
Mhm.
in a lot. They will shit a brick if we get a 50% turnout in the primaries. I mean, you don't get that normally. We
Mhm.
can transform the government. And they want us, the Democratic establishment wants us focused on the midterms. They want to just pretend the primaries don't exist. And they're on the phones. They're trying to tell progressive candidates to withdraw, which is anti-democratic. That's mob behavior. When these rich politicians are calling up the up and coming grassroots candidates and telling them to quit, unacceptable. And I'm trying to get more of these candidates to tell me which of the politicians are calling them, because if they have time to call up the progressive candidates, they have time to sit down and talk with Nick and me for a minute and explain themselves.
Mhm.
Transparency. If they don't want to be transparent, they can hit the door, they can hit the road. Yeah, let's see some pictures. How about that?
Yeah,
Did I
let's
get those up?
shift today. Let's shift ourselves a little bit here and move into our artwork for the day because we've had a lot of conversation about politicians and how they suck,
Yeah,
but also on how we can
have
take
some
it back,
joy. Yeah,
and have some joy. And we talked about masculinity and shifting the narrative and showing what it's like to be a man that doesn't suck and that actually values and cares for the things around him and
yeah.
shows empathy and love. And one of the things we like to do is showcase artwork. And so let's shift over to our amazing artwork today. Walter, do you want to start?
Woo!
Because this one's from
Yeah,
you.
my youngest. My youngest did this. I think it was a school project. I think it's supposed to be a bookend, but they're just like, do a door. And this is just in our bathroom. And it just makes me laugh every time I see it. Cause it's like, it's like a little bit mischievous to have the door be tilted like that. That's such an impractical door. But I'm just like, I don't know. I just love it. It looks like a crescent moon. And of course, our little puppy always appears in all their artworks. It's fun to see these examples of their brains. It's like, and I think we've talked about this before. I see my daughter's mind, it's like, this is the world from her eyes, is what art allows you to see. And I just am so appreciative of that. And our cute little puppy just sitting there. I don't know. I'm happy about this. So yeah, I'm glad to share
I really like it. I love it. I would have that door.
it.
I would have that
Yeah.
door on my house. It
Walking in and
reminds me
out.
of like how a Hobbit house would
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
should have a door of, and it makes me feel happy because I would have a crescent moon door. Like
Yeah.
who wouldn't want a door that's fucking awesome?
Our real house has 3 steps like that in the front too. So I
Oh,
love
that's
how that
wonderful.
kind of thing, yeah, fits in. Yeah, I love it.
I love that. That's so nice.
I want that door
And
as well. That says,
I love it. I would want that door on my house. My wife and I love getting like doors. We got a reclaimed door for the front of our house, so like I we love the idea of like fun, whimsical doors. And this is like like the Smurfs, a little portal in your own little like Smurfia or Narnia or style thing. Your portal to adventure.
you know what? That makes me think of a story, because I was on YouTube the other day with the kids, and it was like, put on the theme songs for like 40 children's shows from the 80s. And I was hoping they were going to do the Visionaries, and they did. And then I was like, I don't know if you remember the Knights of the Magical Light. So I made my daughter, my eldest, I'm like, let's watch like the intro to the Visionaries. They're like, Visionaries. And it's these knights, and it's like retro, but also like scientific in the future. And they have these things on their chest that become like light avatars of like archers and stuff. And we watched this like 3-minute intro, and my daughter's like, that's low-key kind of awesome. She was just kind of into it. And it was like, oh, let's find the Visionaries and sit and watch them together. Like, I've made them watch Thundar the Barbarian. They didn't like it very
Nice.
much.
Nice. I love that. I love that.
I love how he spells his name with 2 R's. Like, is Thundar the Barbarian really literate, where he knows he needs 2 R's at the end? Does he have to sit and write his name out? Why do you even... This is the kind of stuff that pisses me off sometimes.
Thundar would have a door like this.
Yeah. Oh
I
man.
love it. Oh my God, this makes me feel so good. And everyone in the chat is so happy about it too. Um, Talking about like art therapy, Ember in
Yeah.
the chat is saying it's why art therapy is so especially with children
Oh
who might not be able to articulate for articulatively verbalize their thoughts and feelings.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a great way to for for you to express yourself, and I love it. And it gives
Well,
kids so much freedom. Like that's why I love play therapy. Um,
yeah. Yeah.
and like my kids have gone through play therapy, and it's something my mom, who's a retired licensed school psychologist, always recommended is like play therapy because it
Yeah.
keeps the kids' minds active and fun, and they get at ease when they're doing something that makes them happy.
All I do is play. And I think home must be a safe space for a child who makes a door like that. And so I think
Hmm.
I'm going to take it that way too.
Yeah, I love that. Home is a safe place. This home should be a safe
It
space.
should. It's not for
It's
every kid,
not for a
much to
lot
our
of
shame.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let me move over to mine.
Woo! I love them.
These are two pictures I took. I have a couple more pictures, but not included here today, are of the Pyramid of Giza Lego set that I have.
Nice.
And I took some like spotlight artistic pictures of it a while back, and I wanted to share them.
I
I have
like
a bunch
that.
of Lego sets that I've got that are in storage right now, but this one was really fun to build. Um, it's
I
got the
like
whole like the set that goes up. There's the cart on it, and it's attached by like a little
oh,
wire. And then if you spin it around backwards, it has the like catacombs of the layers, so you can see where like the chambers would have been. It's really cool.
I like the artistic photography element as much as the build. I mean, that's art too. I mean, you know, getting all set up and I don't know, it looks great. I think that's wonderful.
Thanks, Beth. I've been holding out. Yeah,
yeah.
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 I have a Lego addiction. I have a bunch of other pictures that I can show
Ah.
too. I took a bunch, some really cool lighting pictures like this of some of the sets.
Oh, bring them out.
This one, to answer the question of how many pieces, I think this was like 4 or 5 thousand.
Oh,
I don't remember. No, it may have been in the twos. I think this was in the 2000s. The biggest set that I have is the Eiffel Tower, which is 10,001 pieces.
wow. Yeah.
Um, and that one actually collapsed and fell over, so I have
Oh
to
no.
rebuild it. My dogs fought around it and knocked it over, and I was really disappointed
You should
when
have
it
filmed that
happened.
and done it in slow motion. It's like
Oh
the
my god.
fall of Paris.
And part of the problem is I have LED lights attached to it. My wife got me a matching LED set that lights up the Eiffel Tower. Um, and I do have a video of that, so I can upload that sometime. That's really cool. But I have to rebuild the towers at some point. It took about a month to build the first time. And so hopefully it can
Yeah.
take less this time. It's a lot of repeating, like doing the same thing over and over and over again.
I do
Um,
these product reviews, so I get free product, and it's a lot of times it's knockoff Legos. So it's like,
mhm.
so my kids get out, and a lot of them are really super good. You get like twice as many Legos for like half the price. I get them for free though. So my kids have so many Lego sets. They have Lego sets they haven't put together yet. They're just the whole house is full of them. It just makes me happy.
Hey,
Oh, it got wild in there.
hey, you're good. Nobody's here, old man.
He's
You're
hearing
good.
me. Is he getting excited because of me?
No, they can't hear you. Our
Oh,
neighbor's dog barked in the background, and it
oh.
set all my dogs off. The three dog bells each go off on their own when they can.
My
Um,
wife does these. She does the diamond paintings too. She likes that.
mhm.
She likes puzzles. That's how she relaxes. Just sit. All that stuff is good for people. Just sit
Oh,
there and
Lincoln Logs are awesome.
real things.
Yeah,
Oh, God, they still have those. Yeah.
they do. We have Lincoln Logs for our kids. I love
Wow.
Lincoln Logs. They're fun. They do get lost, and the dogs like to eat them, so we don't always have them. Uh,
You don't see
but
them so much
yeah,
anymore. See you,
so yeah,
Kathy.
this
Kathy's picking up.
thank you all for the love on the art. We're gonna go back to some of our
Brr,
maybe
brr.
depressing
Yeah.
topics
Well, it's
or topic
empowering. You see the truth and
empowering.
you're
Yeah,
empowered to fix it. Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna be empowered today to fix some of this. And I'll start with Walter, yours, because it leads into a lot of the
Yeah.
conversation that we've been having um, throughout the day. Oh, and yours was already
Yep.
listed for the QR code. So,
Yep. And
Walter.
it says it's becoming more and more clear why the Democrats failed to stop the rise of fascism when we gave them the power in 2020. Many of them are in on it. Vote them out. And I'm starting to get more pushback from this because they had all the power. It's like that's another one of those facts that they want us to just jump over. They want to blame the voters, but in 2020, the voters gave them all the control they needed. And so they got to stop blaming the voters. They have to stop. And I'll get people now that are sitting there saying, well, that's oversimple. It's like, it's not oversimplifying it. This is a fact. They could have done it. And it's like they had access to all those Epstein files throughout that whole presidency. They had them. I mean, you could get them. You could pry it open, whatever. Don't talk about the legal barriers. The president could get through and get it, especially when it's a level of national security like that. And this is why, I mean, all the people, we have to just reselect our representatives. That's why we have a primary process. The Democrats get all haughty about primaries. Primaries are healthy. You have multiple candidates covering the district. They get people excited about every other election. Having multiple candidates develops name recognition. They can run then for town offices, county offices, state offices. Primaries for Congress are critical. The fact that our Democratic Party bullies progressive candidates who are gaining attraction and tells them to quit is anti-democratic, and they have to be accountable for this. They have to stop doing that. They have to stop using words like electability. They have to stop blaming the voters because the voters gave them all the power they needed. They failed to act. We need new representatives.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. We've been talking about that whole time.
Yep,
this whole time is we need new representatives. And we're getting them. We're going to get them because folks like Walter are interviewing them. Folks like I'm going to be hopefully setting up a call soon to get on with Kira and some of the folks on the citizen impeachment candidacy list. And I've met some of the Wisconsin candidates that Walter has had. And I'm going to be helping work with Lev Parnas. Like,
we should do a candidate day, Nick. We should just all day. We should have time slots. Candidate. We can cycle through 15 right now. Everybody get to know them. They can all mention their web pages.
Yeah, let's do a Tuesday. Let's do a special long running. I'm working on opening my calendar up so Tuesdays I don't do an intelligent masculinity discussion, and it's really just a notes of the weekday. And we could use
6 hours of candidates. Absolutely.
Yeah, if we could line up 6 hours of candidates and get people on for 15, 30 minutes, like there you go. You've got candidate material now for yourself, and you have a good interview. And if you did poorly in the interview, that's your fault.
Like, well, they could take the clips, spread them to their social, all kinds of things.
And we'll take the clips and we'll spread them to our social. And no, not a 12-hour show. No, we won't do that. But we could do 4 hours of 4 hours of us. We could do 2 hours, take a break, and then 2 more hours. Like, that's totally fine. Walter and I spend 2 to 2.5 hours talking every Tuesday. It's not like I can't talk to him for another 2 hours.
I've got 2 more hours after this. I got 2 more, and I did 2 hours before this, so it's an all day for me anyway. I'm building up the stamina to do this all day long.
Yeah, and why not? Why not have those incredible discussions? Because then we can actually get these candidates out there.
Yes.
And I bet you there's plenty of candidates who are on our friends lists too that they'd want to see out there.
I'm getting so many requests. I literally can't do it by myself. There's no other way I can process all these requests than to do something like that.
Yeah, I'll take some of them on if you want.
Yes,
like absolutely, I'll take some on for you. Like if you can't process all of them, I'm glad to support Walter.
Thank you. I need it.
And if I'll make time when I can to be able to do it, and I'll pass them on. And if we want to start, I can start helping pass them on to other people too. That's the whole plan is we network this out because then we have a network of candidates and representatives soon that will actually represent us. We won't do an all day thing because that is a lot.
While driving, we'll be driving to keep ourselves awake. It's like all day while driving.
We're doing it.
Yeah, no.
And so, but I think it's great. I think this is a great idea and a great way to be a part of it. And if you want to volunteer to be part of Broad Banner or Banner and Backbone or Sick of the Shit publications, we have volunteer links, and if you're good at networking
Oh
and
man,
helping
I
us
need you.
find more people and helping
Yeah.
us schedule, like if you want to help schedule for us, like get people on the calendar and reach out, that would be great too. Like building this type of volunteer network is exactly what we need. And if you want to volunteer, please do. Please support and volunteer. I have, hi buddy. um,
You got him.
I've got I have child supervision again.
Nice.
You can come in, but you cannot play on the piano. And I just dropped the link to the volunteer, and we need stuff that are non-technical expertise. We don't right now. We
Yeah.
don't specifically need people who can build web pages or design tons of automations and things like that. Like we're working on those already. I'm handling a lot of some of that, but we need people who can help outreach, who are great at
Yeah.
networking
Calendars
and
and organizing
outreach.
schedules.
Yeah,
Holy cow. That would be
yeah,
fun.
and who can help take the broadbanner calendar that Courtney and I have been working on it and getting so like it's so cool. It's going to be awesome. It's going to replace the old system we have. We have a new version of it that's good, that's going to make programmatically accessing it easier and helping us set up. But having folks who can help set up candidate interviews or help get new folks for intelligent masculinity or for notes of the week who, yes buddy, can you have what? You can have the stuffy. You don't need anything else. Okay, whatever, take it, dude. Go ahead, go
He's got
play with
busy
it. Just
plans
go
to
somewhere, go play outside. Go play with Auntie outside. But we're like using our tools, using these discussions, using these group forums, is this gives us the opportunity to help build the volunteer network and the volunteer force. And if you want to if you want to continue doing that with us, like 100%, please do.
Yeah.
We really want volunteer help and volunteer support through all of this. It makes our lives easier. Um, what is going on? Substack says something happened on Substack. Can you guys still
Uh-oh.
see us on Substack? Um, Mine went black.
I
I
see
don't
you
know
on,
if.
on the
Oh,
thing.
there we are. Something's going on. Substack
Courtney
is.
says got an issue.
Yeah, Substack's being buggy and glitchy right now. So what I'll end up doing at the end for anyone is I'm going to download this video and use it and upload it as the recording. Walter, I'll send you a copy of this video so that you can delete
Okay.
the Substack one where it's doing all this like freak out,
Oh.
and we can have the full. You can have the
I'm not
full
seeing
video
anything
without it.
weird, but
Oh, it came back. It was just going in and out for a little
okay.
bit. And we're also on YouTube if you want to follow and join on the YouTube side.
Good.
That's okay too. And then shifting a little from our elections is yesterday, you all know I had to go help my son and my daughter get some dental work. And I just wanted to put out this note yesterday, which was dental work without insurance is stupid expensive. And the fact that teeth are considered luxury bones, like you can also include things like your ears and your eyes because vision insurance is separate
unacceptable.
too. Needing a separate insurance from the rest of your body is fucking bullshit. Seriously, how have we ever allowed insurance companies to con us into believing that crap? We have insurance for like separate parts of our bodies.
Yeah.
Why? Why do I need to pay a luxury insurance for teeth? Teeth are some of the your dentistry is some of the most important aspects of health. Like if your mouth and your teeth are in good condition, the rest of your body tends to be in better condition. Like gum diseases can lead to heart failure and heart conditions. Like one of the easiest ways to kill yourself is have terrible teeth and terrible denture. Why do we have to fucking pay extra for that shit?
Yeah.
Why do we have to have that outside of our normal insurance? Like I had to pay almost $300 yesterday just to get an X-ray, my son's teeth checked, and then they used some of the happy gas, but he still didn't get his tooth extracted because he was afraid of it. It hurt, and so he didn't get his tooth extracted. That saved us almost $400 of him not having his tooth extracted because it was going to cost us almost $700 to do this, to get a tooth fixed. And I decided against it because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to pay for that right now. And I'm going to find a way to get his tooth out without having to pay for, at this point, like if it's going to hurt for him to have his tooth pulled, why am I going to fucking have him do it at the dentist where they're going to charge me $400 for a tooth that I know we can get out without it? Like, and that's dangerous. Like, we should be able to go to the dentist and get dental work done without fear of needing to go into bankruptcy half the time. Like, I don't make enough money to drop an extra $1,000 on dentistry.
Yeah.
We're lucky that my daughter's dental work, because it's through an orthodontist, is already covered because we already paid for it, and other services that might be needed because, say, a brace pops off, those are covered, which is good, which I'm glad, but we still have to pay out of pocket for all of that. The dentist, the orthodontia, when we started it, we had insurance, and they covered half, and it's still a shitload of money. Like, why am I paying the insurance premium if you're not actually covering the fucking cost of the services?
Yeah,
it sucks, and it's a form of slavery.
Yep,
it's a form of debt slavery.
It's abuse.
We have to fix it.
Crime against humanity. This bullshit.
Yes. What's up, nerd?
I love the little one coming in to get some help.
Yeah, go hunt the shark.
That's beautiful. Oh, hunting the shark. Important stuff.
Now he has a shark.
Good.
There's some. So I emptied a bag of like water toys that we had. So he has a shark and one of those pump water guns that just can't do anything. Yeah. And so he's just sitting on the floor with a shark and a water toy.
That's a good day.
Fun for him. Yeah, good day. But like, yeah, and even with insurance, it's still shitty. It's still awful. Like, but the thing is, we should, if we're going to have insurance for our bodies, we should have one. It should be one.
Yeah.
And it should be covered through our taxes.
And they're going
like
to keep
every
taking.
Other fucking first world country, like most of what we would consider third world countries, which is just racist bullshit and exceptionalist propaganda too, is we made that term up to make other people feel lesser than. So most countries around the world have socialized healthcare systems. We need one that covers all healthcare, all care services, including dentia, including eyes, including your ears, everything from head to toes, all the way down. Everything in between your full body is covered through our tax base, because we're the wealthiest nation in the world, and we can afford to tax the wealthy people some more so that we can actually pay for these services, so that we can do, a wealth cap and a wealth minimum, because
human life matters.
Rising tides lifts all ships, and those ships are us. We need to lift ourselves. We need to do it by taxing the fuck out of the rich and taking back our wealth. No. Will it put more money in your pocket directly at times? Maybe not. But what it will do is you won't pay taxes to your company to pay for health insurance. You'll pay for what you're already paying for in federal taxes. You'll save $4,000-6,000 plus a month.
So we can eliminate medical bankruptcy. You eliminate medical
bankruptcy. You'll never have to pay for a prescription again. You'll never have to pay for any of it because you already paid for it. Yeah. That's how it should work. It's easy. And we have access to candidates.
Yes.
And we talk to candidates here, Walter and I do.
Yep.
That will push us in those directions.
Yep. I got a guy I'm talking to in a half hour, so we should start
let's wrap up. Yep. Let's wrap ourselves up for the day, because this has been another great conversation.
It has been. We covered a lot of good ground.
Yeah, and I want to put out again for everybody is, please, if you want to, go to thebroadbanner.com/volunteer and volunteer. Come help support us. Come help support the work we're doing. We don't need explicit tech support. If you are technical and have skills and want to volunteer, yes, want that too. but we need all the other surrounding support so we can do our
Good.
outreach so that Walter and I can spend more
Yeah.
time interviewing and less time trying to find all the candidates.
Yeah.
And you guys can get more of what you want. And with support from more people, that's writing. You can put out
Yeah.
articles, you can put out your own recordings. You can build yourself with us. Help volunteer with us, and we'll help build you too. Like, I'll help promote the hell out of your work and put it
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Sick of This Shit publications or Banner and Backbone or wherever we need to get the ideas out there. And put ideas on the volunteer form too. Like, if you have an idea of something that you think should be done or could be done, volunteer,
Yeah.
help us. I'll absolutely say yes if you know, especially if you know how to do it and you want to do it and you're interested in doing it. I'll say yes. Like, absolutely. The more the merrier. So let's shift here and promote ourselves,
Yeah.
because that's also what we do here. So we promote the hell out of ourselves so that we can get some new subs and new friends and build our community larger. Walter, let's start with you, my brother.
Oh, everybody, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. And yeah, I need somebody to help me with the time zones. Organizing the time zones, it takes my energy away. But oh, I have all these things on my webpage. I'll be interviewing a lot of progressive candidates, and hopefully through doing this, we will get this universal health care. We will get universal education. That's our feedback here. We're not doing it like the right. The people they push their candidates through to enrich themselves through fraud. We're trying to get our candidates in to help everybody. Yeah, the financial support helps a huge amount on any one of my articles. There's a list down at the bottom, pay whatever you can. But just restacking things, doing the cross posting. Yeah, I'm going to be talking to Elizabeth later this week. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't seen Elizabeth in a while, so that's going to be fantastic. Anything you can do, it helps a lot. But most of all, thanks for the validation. Thanks for just allowing us to continue to grow and have this journey. And the support means a lot. I feel the love. I felt like we're in sync a lot more. Like our minds are syncing up. I think we are getting close to that message. Time is running out, not a moment too soon, but we still have time. The primaries are starting up right now, and we can get our candidates in. So everybody who can help me interviewing these candidates, promoting those interviews, letting people know we don't have to put up with the status quo. We can have a better system. We can change the way everybody thinks. You're all part of this. We need everybody. That's what a grassroots movement means. And thank you all for being part of it.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, and please support Walter. Please support his growth, continued growth. He's amazing. I love
You too,
Walter.
sir.
Um, Thank you, and I love having his friendship and being able to have these conversations on Tuesdays and in the Diogenes Club on Thursdays with him. Like, they're so important. They're so important, and thank you, everyone in the audience, for being with us today too. So go support my friend Walter, and then come support me. Come support Sick of This Shit publications and our growth and what we're doing here. We are building a manosphere that doesn't suck. We're building tools and systems to help others build their platforms and grow and expand. And it's all because of y'all. It's all because of the support y'all provide and the
Yes.
feedback and the growth that you're allowing me to have. And I'm so thankful for all of you. Please, if you can become a paid subscriber, if you want to, also, I offer a founding subscription for, I believe it's 100 a year founding subscription. That is one of the most helpful, but the monthly subscriptions are actually the most helpful for us. Just for those who might not know if they want to do a subscription, the monthly subscriptions tend to be the most helpful because they give us a consistent monthly amount that we can rely on and know is coming in every month. But either way, any subscription helps, even if it's, especially if it's free. At the end of the day, as long as you like, stack, and reshare everything that, or as much as you can, from not just us but from others in our community too, and
Yes.
get those messages out there and send people our way. Like I said, help support us with the volunteer side, help provide aid if you can, and support on the growth of our systems so that we can all benefit from it. Because these tools are resources for all of us. I'm testing out a bunch of cool resource tools that I'm putting together right now that I then am hoping to be able to quickly package and hand over to Walter to be able to use on his computer,
Awesome.
or someone else to be able to use on their computer, so that they can easily support their own tool systems without having me. It's not about me. I just want to help provide the tools for other people. but also it's a place for art and creativity and
Yes.
joy and fun. So come join us here at Sick of This Shit Publications. Y'all have been wonderful. I'm going to let Walter go because he's got his interview here in half an hour too. Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you again, everyone, so much for being with us, for being here on Notes of the Week with us every week. Thank you to the 450 something people
Nice.
on Stack who are with us. Y'all are incredible. Thank you for being here today. Smash the heart one last time for us before y'all go. Hit the subscribe in that top right corner if you aren't already, or top left corner, sorry, if you aren't already subscribed with us. And then catch Walter's interview later today as he's doing more candidate interviews. It's going to be a great one. And then again, I'm going to repost all of Walter's interviews as we like to try and do on Banner and Backbone and get that message out there, and get that as far and wide as we can on as many channels as we can, so that those interviews are available. And maybe I'll do a stream of interviews of just Walter interviewing somebody and just have that live for folks to be able to come in and out of. So thanks again, Walter.
Nice.
All of this, and we've talked about doing that too as like a debrief after, and like take clips and debrief if we want to do that. Let's talk about it. Let's see if we can do that, and if there are volunteers who want to help create clips and debrief and create things out of some of these interviews, would love that too. Like that kind of support, that would be fucking fantastic. Like that would take so much, so that would be so helpful, and then we could have some amazing discussions around it. So again, thank you everyone so much for being here with us. I'm Nick Paro, not your dad, joined by Walter Rhein, our level 36 magic user, on Notes of the Week. This is Sick of This Shit Publications, and as I like to say, we're sick of this shit. We're done being sick of this shit, and now we're doing this shit. So let's have a great week, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Yep. Love to all. Bye-bye.